Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here and be able to share some thoughts with you and discussions. Today's operational environments are more and more characterized by uncertainty, complexity, rapid change, and a range of potential threats. These environments will be marked by various levels of conflict among nations and groups, competing for wealth, resources, political authority, sovereignty, and legitimacy. In an environment of potentially decreasing resources and fiscal constraints, the distinctions between threats will become blurred and nuanced because of the nature of enemies and adversaries, the multiplicity of actors involved, and because friendly and unfriendly actors will attempt to adapt to the ever-changing environment. Regional conflicts, civil wars, and transnational actors are likely to alter the regional power structures. New global actors may emerge as a result of conflict and instability. Emerging powers may attempt to form alliances that limit or hinder the global influence of the United States. High population growth and migration, as well as cultural, ethnic, and religious forces, have the potential to cause unrest. Partnerships have always been a key part of the U.S. defense strategy, but with today's fiscal and environmental terrain, it is receiving much more focused attention. Effective partnerships take advantage of the expertise and resources of each other to achieve mutually agreed upon goals. As the chairman has stated, partners bring capacity, capability, and credibility to bear. Capacity is about having more of the same, general purpose forces. Capability is about having the specific thing that you need, more often human skills than specific hardware. And credibility is about having legitimacy and more enduring outcomes. For a modest investment, partnering will bring us worthwhile returns. The sum of our actions will surely be greater than if we would act unilaterally. President Barack Obama, on January 2012, in the Defense Strategic Guidance, has stated, "As we end today's wars, we will focus on a broader range of challenges and opportunities. We are supporting political and economic reform and deepening partnerships to ensure regional security. We are joining with allies and partners around the world to build their capacity to promote security, prosperity, and human dignity." The United States finds itself at a strategic inflection point, and building partner capacity is a critical component of our national security strategy, one that maintains our global reach through burden sharing with partners and with allies. The Department's strategic guidance recognizes that deepening global interdependence calls for continued engagement and leadership in the world, including military power. Nowhere are the benefits of this collaboration more evident than the long-standing U.S. military relationship with Europe, specifically with the NATO framework and with the U.S. European Command. That collaboration has more recently expanded to focus on our shared interests in Africa, where the U.S. Africa Command and the EU military staff have engaged in both consultations and military staff talks, and a lot of this has been discussed today throughout the day. Those conversations have included topics such as assistance with building partner capacity and U.S. theater security cooperation programs. Additionally, U.S. Strategic Command has joined the U.S.-EU Space Security Dialogue, which takes place between our State Department and the EU colleagues. Moreover, DoD has long held discussions with EU policymakers on shared security concerns like cyber and energy security that have no single home in any one nation's capital. These U.S. and EU contacts foster development of complementary roles and missions among the various participants while striving to avoid costly and unnecessary duplication of effort, something none of us can truly afford these days. At the major command level, U.S. European Command maintains relationships with the European Union military staff to enable contingency action to be viewed from a basis of mutual interest in EUCOM's area of responsibility. Meetings last month with EUCOM and the EU military staffs focused on how to maximize the complementary nature of NATO, EU, and EUCOM, understanding each other's priorities, enhancing transparency, and engaging in continued dialogue will help us all achieve these aims. AFRICOM is also working with EU to synchronize capacity building efforts to better coordinate with the EU military staff. The United States and the European Union share common capacity building interests in East Africa, as mentioned before. In the military context, these include support to the Somalia National Force and the counter-piracy activities which were discussed, and also developing the African Union military capability discussed by General de Rousier. NATO has also had partnerships and ties with several nations in the Middle East and North Africa through the Mediterranean Dialogue and ties with the African Union. Both NATO and EU consult in a variety of other areas as well. These include staff consultations on NATO's Smart Defense Initiative and the EU's Pooling and Sharing Initiative, helping to deconflict efforts that nations are pursuing with regard to multinational capabilities. Given overlapping EU and NATO roles in the comprehensive approach to crisis management, consultations are truly essential. NATO and the EU have formally agreed in a long-standing cooperation framework that such consultations should apply to any emerging crisis from its inception. In conjunction with the NATO defense planning process, the United States is focusing alliance capability development efforts on critical capabilities needed to address future threats. These capability development areas include ballistic missile defense, cyber threats, joint intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. The NATO-EU Capability Group enables coordination of these development efforts between the two organizations. Looking ahead, the United States will remain globally engaged both independently and in collaboration with our EU and NATO partners, providing a stabilizing presence through a network of alliances, partnerships, and cooperative approaches to address common security problems. The Department of Defense remains committed to our numerous security cooperation activities to enable and encourage our foreign partners to work with us to achieve our common strategic objectives. These activities are aimed at preventing future crises, and should these preventative efforts fail, ensuring the Department and its partners are sufficiently trained and equipped to respond as necessary. Building partner capacity is not a singular task that the United States can undertake in a vacuum. It is a complex, interwoven system with multiple lines of effort being undertaken throughout the Department, across the interagency, and with the collaboration of our allies and our partner nations. The main goal of these efforts is to develop effective and legitimate security institutions that can provide for their own country's internal security, contribute to a greater regional stability, and participate in multilateral operations. From our strongest allies to our newest relationships, partnerships form a critical element of our approach towards some of our most difficult security challenges of the 21st century. We have allies and partners who share an interest in helping advance a common security vision, and in doing so, should shoulder some of the burden of global security. Thank you for allowing me to participate in the panel today. Looking forward to your questions.
Thank you very much, General Miller.